My name is Oleg. And I'm not sure for a long time that I wake up to who I fall asleep. It started out of the ordinary, even funny. I wouldn't believe it then if someone said that a few weird dreams could steal what I called myself. But I will tell you everything as it was. Because if I don't tell you, I'm afraid I won't be able to next time. Or whoever wakes up instead of me won't want to do it. The first night I just saw an old woman. She stood in the dark behind me. I didn't hear her approach, I didn't see where she came from, I just turned to my side in my dream and saw her, tall, thin, hunched back, head bent, face covered with strands of black, as if wet, hair. Her shirt hung as if it had been wrapped on bones. And hands. Long, thin, as if from dry vines. "It's you sleeping," she whispered. The voice was deaf, as if from under the ground. I remember trying to scream, but my body didn't listen. I lay, paralyzed, as if the concrete inside had frozen. She leaned so low that I could feel her breath on my cheek. Cold, like when someone puts snow on your face. "I'll just take a little." Her fingers touched my temple. "You won't notice anyway." And I felt, as if something had been pulled out in me. A tiny thread. Not pain, but emptiness. He woke up instantly, abruptly, jerky, as if after a fall in a dream. My heart was pounding, my mouth was dry. The light from the street broke through the curtains. No hint of the old one. But there was another thing. I forgot my work password. The one I've been using for half a year. I couldn't even remember the algorithm by which I composed it. Then I thought it was stress. But now I know, it was the first thread she took. Turned home exhausted. I thought, I'm going to bed earlier. But when I lay down, I was afraid to close my eyes. I tossed and turned for an hour, catching any sound from the corridor, as if someone was standing outside the door to come in when I fell asleep. When I fell asleep, she came right away. The witch was already sitting on my chest, heavy, like a stone slab. I couldn't breathe completely, only short, jerky sips of air. She stared at me through the strands of hair. Black threads fell, touched my cheeks, caused frost on my back. "How deeply you sleep," she whispered with satisfaction. "Good dream, beautiful prey." I tried to move, but my body was paralyzed again. She reached out to my face and ran her fingers over my forehead, thin as tree roots, looking for slack in the wall. "I'll take more this time." That feeling again. It's like a hair being pulled out, but not from your head, but from your memory, from an abstract place in your brain that you've never felt. A subtle, cold jerk. I woke up screaming. So that the neighbor downstairs knocked on the battery at night. Sweat poured out of me. This time, I couldn't remember the phone number of my cousin, who had known by heart for 10 years. And another thing, my thoughts became slower. It's like the brain has stalled. I started Googling, sleep paralysis, witch, night demon, Mara. It all came down to the psyche. But that didn't explain why I was losing my memory. I went to a psychotherapist I know. I didn't talk about the witch, I didn't want to be considered crazy. He only said, "I don't sleep well. And I think I'm forgetting things that I should have known for many years." He advised tests, rest, vitamins, reduce stress. But that same night she came again. That night was different. I fell asleep and I already knew she was here. I didn't even see her, I just felt like the air in the room had become older, older than me, my house, everything. When I was able to turn my head, she was standing by the bed. It's getting closer. And now I saw her face. Pale, wrinkled, with black hollow eye sockets. There are no eyes, just pits that pulled the look, as if they were falling. "You quickly become weak," she whispered. "Soon I will take your place." She raised her hand and touched my lips with her fingers. Cold as metal. "You will wake up, but you will not think. You won't be watching. You won't speak. I dwell in your bones, your skin, your name. People won't notice the difference, just a slightly different view. Another silence between the words. I tried to scream, but the voice was stuck in my throat. She touched her forehead, and again jerked. This time not thin, powerful, aching, as if I had been smashed from the inside. When I woke up, I couldn't remember where my aunt worked, although I saw her every week. Then I discovered that I didn't remember the PIN code from the card, and I don't even remember the last time I went to the gym, although I always went there 3 times a week. It was no longer an accident. My mother was the first to say, "You're looking, somehow, not you. Like an empty one." I waved it off. But inside I was already panicking. What if some part of me now is not me? Then my friends noticed. I was sitting in a cafe with Andre, and he suddenly leaned over. "You listen, but you don't. You have a look like someone who doesn't understand anything, but pretends to be right." And I couldn't remember the topic of the conversation that lasted just a minute ago. That night was a turning point. I fell asleep in an armchair. I was afraid to go to bed. But she came there as well. As if she doesn't need space, only my consciousness. And now she spoke almost calmly. People don't need memory to live. They live by inertia. You will walk as before. Wash, work, eat. And I'll be there, inside. You will feel in the fog. Until you drown completely. Why? I was able to whisper, hearing my own voice in my dream for the first time. She leaned over, "Because you are the door. And people like me can't come by themselves. We need a living person who will spread the gap between the world and dreams. You are comfortable. You don't fight hard enough." And her fingers touched my temple again. This time, the jerk was so strong that I felt something in my chest fail. If it were physical pain, I would faint. When I woke up, I forgot the date of my birth for a second. I knew it, but it slipped away. The name of his teacher, whom he remembered all his life. The place where important documents were kept. Even worse, I forgot the words of a song I've listened to hundreds of times. Something in me is erased. I decided, we need to check how deep it goes. Before going to bed, I wrote a note. "You are Oleg Kravitz. You like coffee with cinnamon. You have a mother. And you are afraid of the witch. She comes in a dream. Don't fall asleep." I put it under the phone to see right away. When I woke up, I read the note and, for a second I couldn't understand why the handwriting was someone else's. It was my handwriting. But I didn't feel it. As if I saw a stranger's letter. This time she was not standing by the bed. She was standing in the hallway of my apartment. In the dream, I saw exactly my corridor, a mirror, a mat, my favorite lamp. "See?" Her voice sounded from all the walls at once. "My shadow is already in your house." She touched the wall, and the wallpaper under her fingers became darker, as if burned. "A few more nights and I'll come in without waiting for you to fall asleep." And pulled another thread out of me. This time so long that I screamed through my sleep. Woke up, trembled, turned on the light. In the hallway, under the mirror, a dark spot. Like soot. I didn't know if it was a hallucination or not. But I won't wipe it right away. She was real. I found a woman online who called herself a dreamer. She worked with people who experienced conscious dreams, paralysis, etc. That was my last hope. She listened and said, "It's not Mara. Not a demon. It's a parasite. A conscious parasite. Old as fear. He lives between dream and reality and is constantly looking for someone to wear. He penetrates through recurring dreams and takes away pieces of personality." I was shaking. "Can I stop?" She looked long, heavily, like a doctor who knows the diagnosis, but can't say it right away. "You can. But you are already too deep." "How many nights?" "5. After the 7th person is no longer quite human." I was thrown into the sweat. "There's something you have to do." But you can't stand it without risk. What is the risk? You may not wake up. In general. But there was no choice. I fell asleep with the intention of fighting. The woman gave me a technique. As soon as I realize that this is a dream, I need to close my consciousness, squeeze it to the point, not let the witch connect. When I was asleep, I immediately felt it, the cold in the corner of the room, a premonition. She stood next to her, but today she said differently, annoyed, "Are you trying to get heavier? Squeeze in yourself. Stupid. It only makes my job easier." I tried to keep the focus. I imagined the point of light as advised. But she rushed at me, her fingers digging into my head. I felt her trying to break my mind. It's like opening the door, which I keep closed with my hands. Give it back. You're almost empty. Stay a shadow, I need a body. And I saw myself from the side. My body. My face. But the eyes are empty. Dark, like hers. That's what you'll become in 2 nights, she said. Or I'll take this body and you'll stay in the fog. And you will disappear. I shouted, no. And the world in the dream was torn apart. But before I woke up, I felt her fingers for the last time, and she pulled out something big. Such a piece that I felt like something was lost in me forever. I didn't recognize my face in the mirror. I remembered it was me, but I didn't feel it. My mother called, I didn't immediately remember her name. Just a sense of familiarity. I went to the kitchen and couldn't remember which tea I liked. He stood holding the bags in his hands, like a stranger in his own house. And even worse, I caught myself smiling with someone else's smile. It's like something inside me is moving wrong. Today I already wrote the words and forgot them in a second. My thoughts were not mine. It's like someone is thinking out loud in my head. I was afraid of falling asleep like people are afraid of dying. Because today everything was decided. I contacted that woman and she said, if she takes one more part, that's it. You will lose the eye. If you fall asleep, Oleg will wake up with a shell controlled by something else. What to do? My voice trembled. When she comes, don't be afraid. Tell her the door is closing. That you are not a guide. The only thing that such a parasite is afraid of is its own isolation. Say that you are erasing her path in yourself. What if she was stronger? Then it won't be you. I went to bed. My heart was beating until I fainted. And when the dream covered, she was there. She was sitting on the ceiling, curved like a spider. Her hair hung down, touching my legs. The last night, she hissed. Ready to give up? No, I said, though my body was shackled. The door is closed. She froze. What did you say? I'm erasing the way. You won't pass. You will take me away and drown with me. She broke off the ceiling, falling on me with an inaudible sound. Fingers dug into my head. You are not the master of the body. You are prey. I'll take it. I'll take it. And it began, the worst fight of my life. I compressed my consciousness, held it, imagined myself as the smallest, the tightest point. And this point burned, I made it with fire. I imagined her burning her hands, her shadow, her way to me. She screamed like 1,000 voices at the same time, don't you dare. Don't you dare. You will burn with me. I'm not afraid, I whispered. I hardly remember you. But I remember that you are the enemy. And I squeezed even more. The darkness in her eye sockets swirled. She began to retreat, but she couldn't. I held her to myself, not let her go. By the power of his own will, he closed the door. And then something suddenly broke. It's like a string inside me. She disappeared. The dream flew to pieces. When I woke up, I lay for a few minutes without moving. Then he got up, and the first thing he did was look in the mirror. The face is mine. But the eyes are different. As if they became darker, deeper. I tried to remember everything. The name is. Mom is there. There are friends. The address is there. Something else, empty. I felt that I did not have any memories, details, trifles. I also felt a shadow. Barely catchy. As if in the corner of consciousness someone stands and looks silently. Does not move. He doesn't speak. Just, waiting. Maybe I won. Or maybe I only locked her inside me, not letting her take the body, but also not expel her completely. All day I walked and caught strange moments. Sometimes the thought in my head did not sound like my voice. Sometimes I caught myself smiling for no reason, like her. And in the evening, when I was walking down the corridor, the mirror turned a little, black. For a second. As if someone leaned towards him from the depths. I don't know who I am now. I remember my life, but it's not all mine. I feel like a human, but sometimes I feel movement inside, like a muscle that squeezes and unclenches when I don't. The memory has partially returned, but not completely. Some things are erased forever. And the witch, she is silent. Sometimes, when I fall asleep, I feel like she is sitting in the darkness of my dreams, quiet but present. Waiting. He licks his teeth. He watches when I get weaker. I stayed alive. But whether he remained himself, I'm not sure. Because sometimes, when I look in the mirror for too long, I see someone in the depths of the reflection smiling first.